Well, good morning and welcome to this special referee corner here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Beaston. Joining me is none other than Denon Parchman, Stephanie Yising, and Jermaine Yising. First of all, I like how you've named yourselves the Jamaicans. Welcome.
Thank you, Earl. Thanks for having
Thank
us on
you.
board.
I know Stephanie had all to say about that, so we'll leave it like that. Um, but Parchman, take us through what 2024 has been like for you um, on the field.
Uh, Good afternoon, Earl, again.
Good
Morning.
morning.
I mean, morning, sorry. So,
Too early.
2024, I have not been on the pitch much in CONCACAF, but I have started refereeing back in Jamaica since September. Last year, November, I did a surgery on my Achilles, so I am now basically just returning to the pitch. So I haven't done any CONCACAF game, but I'm pretty much active back in Jamaica. And here I am again one more time in Bermuda, helping the Bermuda Football Association to help with these games that are going on during the winter season here.
Yes, and we do appreciate you three and all the others help that do come down to assist us in making sure our games get paid. Stephanie, can you give us your sum up of 2024, especially internationally?
2024 for me, we started out the year with the CONCACAF Referee Elite Winter Course, um, where all of us were preparing for the CONCACAF competitions for the entire year. We then went on to the Women's Gold Cup, where Odette and myself advanced to the final, and Damian, he was VAR, AVR,
AVR.
AVR on the final as well. Odette was the fifth, sorry, the fourth, and I was the fifth. So the year started off pretty good, and then um, I'm trying to remember. I think I had a friendly, I had a couple of friendlies in between, and I also went to the Maurice Rivella tournament in France with Odette,
Uh-huh.
and we did a semi-final game, and I believe she was on the final as fourth. So that was good. And then went on to do some CONCACAF competitions, the CONCACAF Shield. We did the Caribbean Cup first leg of the third place game the other day. We did a few women's Champions Cup qualifying games. We did a few Nations League. Um, I don't remember what else, but it's been good.
Yeah.
We've been,
Yeah, good stuff. Good
yeah,
stuff. You've had an action packed year.
I would say that, yes.
It's, by the sounds of it, living out of a bag.
I tell you.
Jermaine, what about you? What has 2024 been like for you?
2024, it has been good. It's my third time here in Bermuda.
Hmm.
I feel like a resident. I must say it's been a year of changes. The titles changed, overcome an injury,
Right.
feeling more empowered. I think I can make a more positive impact on the youths.
Right.
It's one of my goals. Impart knowledge, help the Bermudan referees, and of course contribute to the games here.
Sure. Let me ask you: is it easier to officiate outside of your country? Obviously, in your country, everybody knows you. Everybody knows you from young, your upbringing, your good, your bad. So you hear that coming from the sideline. But is it easier to officiate outside your country, even in the CONCACAF, but more so in Bermuda?
More or less, I would say. I mean the laws are the same. I just think that every game is a different challenge. It doesn't really seem easier. There's always something to do that is different.
Yeah. What
So
about you, Parchman?
it's just more or less the same.
All right, Earl. when I was listening to Stephanie explaining her jam pack year, I have so much to be grateful for because when during my injury, I was still very active as a VAR within CONCACAF, and I also was at the Paris Olympics in France, and
Yeah.
it was great. I have done quite a number of finals as a VAR since being injured. So while I'm not very active on the field, I am
Uh-huh.
active in the VAR room, assisting my referee colleagues to make the best decisions for the game. As it relates to in terms of the environment, it is easier to officiate in Bermuda in terms of the environment comparing to Jamaica, where we have to go to the inner city area where it's very hostile. You hear a lot of choice words, so a lot of adjectives being shown at you. So
Yeah.
in terms of that, yes, it's easier to operate in Bermuda, and it's always good. The team is always good. I'm happy to see new faces. Despite they may have seen us for a few times, but whenever we're here, they really appreciate the different officiating style, and we are always happy to come and assist Mr. Williams and his program here in Bermuda.
Sure. Stephanie, hearing Parchman talk about VAR, a lot of the games now that you're doing, especially international matches, you have that option in place. Does that when you have the option of having it available, does that make you more tuned into what you have to do to make sure that every call you've made is the right decision after being checked?
Yes. So because we don't have VAR in the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a switch on, switch off thing because there are procedures or protocols that we have to follow while using VAR that we don't use in regular football.
Right.
So yeah, switch on, switch off. And when you're switching on, it's like more, or I would say heightened concentration. Knowing when to and knowing when not to, and to be able to follow protocols so that at the end of the sequence, the outcome is adhering to the protocol.
Right.
Right. Because like for example, with us as ARs, if there's offside position, we can say position, but if the person in the position goes to get the ball, now we have to say delay because they may be going on goal. But then sometimes our eyes deceive us and the person may look offside or look like they're in offside position and they're not. And at the end of the sequence, they have to check that, which is good for VAR. That's good support because then sometimes we have doubts. Nobody wants to be honest about it, but yes, we do have doubts sometimes. Like, was that really outside or was that not? And you just get trigger happy and either flag it or you don't flag it. And then there's somebody to save you. So, I mean, that's how I look at it at least.
Right.
So I use it to and I also try to make the decision on the field first, make the right decision. Nobody's perfect, but as I say, heightened concentration so that there's more effort to get the right decision so that nobody has to, come in and do some dirty work.
Yeah. Jermaine, you mentioned injuries. As an official, we all hear when a player goes down with an injury, that player is supported by their club and so forth, and But when you come down to officials getting injured, it's a lonely job. But what has been recovery like for you? Have you been around other colleagues, trying to get you back, or has it been like a lonely journey?
No, it's never lonely. We all have injuries, but personally, for me, yes, I've been around my colleagues. I've gotten help, encouragement. I had a right knee injury from 2019 until it got better in 2023.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the left knee decided to pass it.
Left knee was carrying all the weight.
Yes, it was carrying all the weight. But over time, it's getting better.
Yeah.
the key thing is not to rush.
Right.
Yeah, it's not to rush. Sometimes we feel like time is going by real fast.
Uh-huh.
At the same time, you have to give yourself time. You have to have
Right.
patience.
Well, I was going to ask you, what do you have the patience? I mean, you've put up with an injury for almost 4 years on one leg, and now the other leg is starting to act up. How has that messed with your psyche, with you preparing to officiate?
For the last 2 years, it's been a struggle. At times, I was contemplating retiring.
Right.
It was really, really serious. As soon as I feel better, next day, pain and soreness. Yeah, almost impossible to walk. Cannot bend. No flexibility.
Oh boy.
Weight gain. Weight on top of the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I cut you off. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's been a real struggle. You have to have mental toughness. You have to be persistent. You have to be resilient. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Pachi, let me ask you, how does being in a booth watching it as a VAR official change how you approach a game as if you were on the field? How do you change that in game day preparation?
So with the beautiful thing about being in the booth, or we have all the different camera angles. We can slow down the game in slow motion, and we can see from different angles the challenge or a possible handball, and the referee does not have that opportunity when he's on the field of play, and we can use considerations while we are in the VOR to make the best decision on the field for the referee. While the referee just have a split second, you just see something and it goes by very quickly, right? So this helps to heighten your awareness as a match official when you switch from the booth to the pitch, and know that something can go by very quickly, but you have to be ready. You have to have the right angle of view to see and to make the best decision for the game. So you just have to be ready, Earl, and in that right and create that perfect angle to see when the situation happen, and then you make the decision.
Sure. Now, obviously there's always these opportunities for the person watching to indicate what they saw. Is there a timeline as to how much time can go by before you indicate to the match official they should review something, or is it just when play dies, go back and check? Because it could be it could be 2 minutes, it could be 3 minutes.
All right, so yes, there's no timeline, Earl, because our instructor will tell us that if it takes 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and you make the best decision for the game, we are okay, as long as the best decision was made, because we can always add back the time, right? But if something is clear, Earl, and play continues, we have the device. We can ask the referee to stop the game immediately, and we can recommend the on-field review, right? If the ball is out of play, if there's a throw-in or a goal kick or a corner kick, or the referee call a foul, then we have enough time to know, can go in, can check to see exactly what happened. So we can ask the referee to please delay the restart. We are checking for a possible handball. We are checking for a possible red card, penalty, etc., whatever the case may be, right? So that is normally the procedure that we have to follow.
Okay. Stephanie, on a similar question, do you like using the VAR as an official, or is it a tool that benefits the officials or benefits the teams? What is your assessment of it?
Well, from my experience, it benefits the officials. I mean, it benefits both, but like, I guess because of my outward perspective on it, like how I look at it and how I utilize it. I use it to my advantage.
Right.
So working with it, it helps me to analyze situations in the game live differently. Like, how would it look on camera versus how the actual reality is? So that's how I try to use it to my advantage as a tool. So it helps me to perform better on the field. So I know what is being looked for, what is being analyzed or observed. And I mean, things do happen, but so far it's been good for me with using VAR. I appreciate it. I mean, nobody wants to hear, what did I normally say? Parky, I'd like to recommend a review for, nobody wants to hear that. It's true. but and that's why I say, like, it just helps you to heighten your concentration and heighten your work rate, your preparedness for the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jermaine, you mentioned about helping the youngsters in Bermuda and the program in Bermuda. What has been your biggest impression of the program itself, especially with the youngsters and them showing up Sunday mornings to training and other training sessions? What's been your impression?
My biggest impression has been the youths, their age, how young they are coming out. Back home, the youngest person is probably 16 years old. Here, it seems younger.
Like 12.
And they're very enthusiastic about it. Yeah. So that is very motivating, for me. Impressive.
Good. And for you, Pachi, you've been in and out of this program for quite some time. Giving knowledge to these young people. The standouts, you've seen it grow over the years. What have you been impressed with that you've seen from when you first came to Bermuda and would have seen the program, and now to where you see it at this time around?
What I've seen over the years, Earl, is the hunger from the youngsters, how much they want to learn, how much they want to matriculate to the big games. And for example, we now have Amari. When I came here, Amari was more of we're doing a dual role. Sometimes he's an assistant referee. This moment he's a central referee. And we have seen Amari now grow so much that he is now a FIFA referee come 2025, and we have to give so much credit to Mr. Cranston Williams, the vision that he have for this country and for this academy, and how much he wants the Bermudan referees to grow and to excel to the highest level. So we have to give kudos to Cranston and the vision that he has. This guy is a great person, and I think the referee should really appreciate him, what he's doing. For them and this program, and for the Bermuda referee in general. So there's a lot of growth, as I said, and the youngsters are hungry and they are willing to learn, and they want to see things happen. They want to see themselves growing and going to the bigger games and keep improving, and that is very encouraging to me.
Sure. Stephanie, we've seen an increase of football in our region internationally over the last, I would say, eight years, and not just for the men but also for women, it has increased. How does that make you, as a female official, how does that make you feel that the opportunities not just for men but for women has grown in CONCACAF over the years?
There's a sense of equality in returns, in the sense where we are basically doing the same training programs now, as per request at CONCACAF, and the rewards or the returns is now somewhat equal. So yeah, because no, it doesn't matter if you are male or female. CONCACAF says you are referees. So you are eligible. Once you are eligible, meaning you pass the required fitness test and you're performing at the required standard, you are eligible to do these games. Right.
Uh, now, Jermaine, we know in the next year. Well, I even want to go as far as 2028 because we're going to be hosting the World Cup in 2026. LA will host the Olympic Games in 2028. It's in our region as well. Looking at it from a young referee standpoint, or even a referee assistant standpoint, what advice would you be giving to not only to yourself but to others that want to make sure that they are part of? I mean, what Parchman done as a athlete, the Olympics and a World Cup is the biggest thing that you could ever enter in your sport, and looking to make these two major events that are in our region in the next 3 years. Over the next 3 years, what advice would you be giving people, especially young people that are getting involved in officiating?
Get fit, get prepared. Study the laws of the game, watch more football. Do research. Widen your knowledge, your horizon. That's it. Because you'll never know when I might get a phone call, an email.
Yeah.
You never know when an opportunity might present itself.
Sure.
And that is definitely the time to, display your talent, your knowledge, and what you have garnered over the time.
For sure. Pachi, let's talk about that Olympic experience. I mean, any track and field person out of Jamaica, that's their goal, that's their dream. Anybody that swims out of Jamaica, that's their dream, to go to the Olympics. When you look at it, you've gone to the Olympics as an official, which is, to me, honest, if you're an official, that's also a high regard. Having that honor of being an Olympic official, what is that like for you? What has that done for you?
Earl, when I received the email that morning that I was pre-selected to go to the Paris Olympic game, I was in Miami at the time. I think I had a semifinal games in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and I saw the email, and I was so excited, elated. All the descriptive word you would want to use as an individual. Yeah, I was very emotional as well. And going to France and being in Paris in particular, the experience is something that I will never forget. It was great, meeting new instructors, meeting new referees from all over the world, interacting with these people, getting to know them, working with them in the booth, on the pitch. It is second to none, Earl, and this is something that any individual as a match official would want to experience this at the world stage, right? You make mention of 2026, which is around the corner. 2028 is just around the corner. 3 years, as you quint it, it will goes by very quickly. And we as Caribbean match official, we have our opportunity, and whenever the opportunity comes, we have to make the best use of it. So please be hungry, and we have to stay ready, sharp, continue to grow in the game, continue to love what you're doing, and let it show on the pitch every time you get the opportunity to go there. This is like a final game for you, so you have to keep impressing the instructors and the assessors every time that opportunity presents itself. So the ball is in our court, Earl.
Sure. Stephanie, I'm going to ask you a question that's going to end this. Cranston Williams, he got to know you, and kind of twisted your arm to come to Bermuda. What has he been like for you in your career and helping you come to Bermuda and express and allow you to express yourself in what you love to do in officiating?
Boy, so many words. I mean, to be honest, he's been like a big brother in a sense where he's always so encouraging and motivating. He's always pushing. Like, even when you probably have doubts in yourself, he gives you that boost of energy to keep you motivated. And he tries to show you that, like, through encouragement, like taking us here, inviting us here to work with his referees, like, just to show them what we've learned. You know, relate to them in such a way, like maybe sometimes we have difficulties back at home in the league, or just working with others, like just to come here and get a breath of fresh air working with other people. So it's like having an open mind. It's the same thing internationally, working with different people, and learning different cultures and how they operate. It's the same with the league here versus the league home. There are advantages and disadvantages. There are similarities, but it allows us, like, to work on those little things to improve ourselves. And like, he's just been so warm and hospitable. And what, I've lost my words, but there are so many words because he is a lot in a good way. And I think he's very good for like football and referee development in terms of getting people and encouraging people and pushing people to the goal, because there is a goal at the end of it, and I hope he gets to reach the goal.
All right. Well, I want to thank you three for assisting the Bermuda Football Association and our clubs in ensuring that our games get played. And I know it's tough being away from family or this time of the year, holiday season, but we hopefully we can change a bit of the weather, and you can enjoy a bit of sunshine. I know it's games tonight, and then there's obviously games tomorrow, so you have a very active weekend. But again, thank you very much, and season's greetings to each and every one of you. Hopefully 2025 is a much better year for all of you and for the region itself. And hopefully we get to see some of you in action in 2026 at the World Cup in some capacity. And of course, 2028 is another goal. And hopefully there's a few Bermudians in there along the way that you guys have assisted, that we could all look and be proud of. So appreciate you all. Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
you.
you.
Same
Thanks
to
for
you.
having us.